That's like the rainbow, right? They take the rainbow and they make it theirs. I think they knocked one color off, but that was God telling you, here, see the shape of the earth? Because if you look at the rainbow and you look at the sky, you can find every color of the rainbow in the sky. You know, especially when you look at the Dipper and certain spots where these morning stars fell from, they left oil. You can look at the edges, you can see that it's oil in the waters. It's like whatever was holding them in place was diluted somehow when they moved. So when they moved out of place, some of that gel or whatever's holding them, you know, because that's another thing. An arch really works well when there's weight on top to hold the arch down packed. So if you have a lake, in God's eyes, probably like a cup, but anyway, if you have that lake on top of the arch, that there's your pressure, that'll keep it solid as hell, you know. And then when the flood happened, a lot of water skimmed the sky, so it kind of refreshed it too. Put like a new thin coat over it. It's not the same sky at all that they all grew up with. It's not. It's a lot different. And when I went through my thought experiments, like I said, man, I found things that came to light didn't make. Where does it come from? Where? I know I got a good imagination. I do. But damn, like even the mathematics work. I you know, when I look at a pyramid now, I don't look at it the same. Not after my thought experiment. Alright, so the moon's cooling rapidly, really fucking fast, right? So when the water started filling up, when those cardinal gates opened, and those 4 tunnels opened and flushed water into the, I don't know, this dome, this place, this room, whatever you want to call it. And then it also went up along the ceiling. It shot up at an angle. So it started to skim over, and then when it got to a certain place in the ceiling, in the sky, gravity took over and it fell down. That's why both happened. It came from the guts of the ground, and it also came from the vapors of the sky. So as it's filling, he's riding these waves, and he's got his family inside. They're not allowed to look. They're not allowed to come out and see. The girls would not understand. They would not. And thank God the animals are sleeping. God thought that one through. As soon as that waters got rough, the animals slept right through it. For the most part. There's always that weird thing that happened, like when the moon spun. It sounded like a giant piece of steel, almost like the sounds that we're hearing now, like all over the world. You hear those sounds, you hear that. That's what it sounds like in my thing, in my way. Yeah, it's audio too. It's not just. It's crazy. I can smell the salt water, and it's weird. It's not just salt water. You're smelling all kinds of funk shit too every once in a while. You know, like there's dead shit in the water. It's funky. It's funky too. So it's funky too. But it's like. For him, it was the first time he smelled so much salt water. It's weird. It's like he's been near brackish water, but he's never been in salt water. And to him, it's like this new smell he's got to get used to. You know, like, ugh, what the fuck is that? It's like seaweed sandwiches and shit. I'm like, oh, anyway. So when I tell you, when I look at a period, my sisters love me. No, a pyramid. Okay, when it stopped filling, it came to a calm. Now at this point of the filling, the moon's done. It's done. It's not even moving no more. It's actually sitting in the water. The water is at the astral plane. The suns are on. Okay? Then all of a sudden, you know, it's floating there. One side's red and gold on top. But what's floating in the water, you can see chunks of it falling off. Like if you took a piece of coal and you put it in water, you see all this shit pop off at first, but then as it's sizzling, it's just chunks falling off into the water. like the skin of an apple. Okay, like what I see is where sand came from was the first splashes. It's the craziest shit I ever seen in my life. Craziest shit I ever seen in my life. It's the craziest shit I ever seen in my life. So the water is filling, you know, and it's crazy because you feel in the boat the current, and it's not like you're on a river and it's going straight. It's weird. It's like you're spinning, like you can actually feel it. 4 different, almost looks like a Nazi sign. You have 4 different jets, or anyway, positions of water where they're coming from. 4 different ones, and you're actually meeting in the middle, and he's spinning as he rises up. Yeah, if I'm correct, man, that guy was holding on for dear life, saying, "Yo, don't forget me, don't forget me, don't forget me, don't forget me, don't forget me." Hey, dude, remember me in the boat? My wife's gonna kill me if this don't end well. I'm telling you. And thank God, because he had a hole in the center of the ark. There was no room left on the ark. People, you know, because they brought millstones with them, grain, probably 2 or 3 years worth of food, plus they had the eggs and everything, you know, and the timing's got to be right, because some of these creatures are big enough to fucking raise havoc. Like, they need to, like giraffes, if they're born, they need to get up and start running around right away. If you don't give them that energy, that could fuck them up, you know. Then again, who knows? Maybe they all got out and ran like wild animals, because they were. Anyway, so when I see the sun come in, right? So you have everything died. The only light is stars all the way around now. Now you can see them all the way around. It's all the way around. And you're high up where you can basically see the bend, you know? Like I said, he's looking at the Milky Way, and he knows that's where the fucking fallen angels came from. Because you can see up that close, you can see the oil in the sky, the edges. It's like an open wound now, and you know, blood, it would be along the edges of a wound. That's oils and stuff in the waters for some reason. I don't know if it's because I don't know, but it's oils. It's oils in the sky. Almost like a gel, kind of. And then, you know, if you take things and you mess with the gel and the light shines a certain way, you can see that it's oily. Anyway, that's like, you know, on the street, if you ever see a car drive away and you're like, hey, you're leaking oil, how you know? The fucking rainbow. There's a rainbow right there, dude. But it's crazy. He's got to ride these waves, because as it's cooling, right? Because now the new sun gets dropped. Oh, let me go back. So the moon has most of it, okay, one side in the water, and you can see these. It turns into like a ugly, oily, and chunky resin in it. But then the top, even though it doesn't have its skin anymore, there's still, I guess, a little layer. And from what I can tell, what's happening, okay, is a little bit, a thin line along the shell now. So it's big, thick lava wrapping all around it, working like a turkey, right? I don't even know if that makes any sense. But when it hit, the water started hitting it, okay? Like, before it sat still in the water, and the water was rising, there was caps capping the bottom of the sun. And that's where you get sand. The silicone comes from. Okay, so imagine at first it's just tall water caps tapping the bottom, like a kid getting his ass not beat but tapped. So these waves are just high enough where they're slapping the bottom of the moon. And it's crazy because it's thunderstorms, it's everything you could think of, but you also hear like I said before, like grinding, like, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Mommy, can I please go to bed now? Because life sucks. You know? So, Okay. Now, when God placed the new sun probably over Yucatan Peninsula, that's why you got that big crater thing, and that's where all the sun gods and shit is. They're like, if we don't kill 1 million people, the sun's gonna die. Well, they could have gotten that from this. I'm just saying. And they do have their emus and gagagas and BBBs that came up on boats. And I'm just doing that because I don't know other languages, you know what I'm saying? So don't take offense. I'm rocking it here, you know what I mean? So the sand came from when it was slapping. Then when it got so full, it submerged. You know? Now there's such a drag on the moon, and it's just cooling. It's like magnify the sound of popping grease on a griddle, but magnify it. And I'm talking magnify it, and have the grinding metal, and the waves, and the kids crying, and the animals, because